So to give you a little introduction about how I'm related to next gen golf, played club golf in college. The guys that actually run this organization now are good buddies of mine. So went to Dayton with me, and then he actually took over the organization when we were in college, and then he kind of grouped up with these guys, Next Gen Golf, kind of after we graduated. So that's a little bit of background about why I know about these guys. So as Chris said, my name is Tim Beck, University of Dayton grad, studied mechanical engineering. I live in Philadelphia now. Grew up in Ohio, Youngstown. Anybody from Ohio? Yeah? What part?
Cool.
Nice, okay. OH? Yeah? It's not very friendly around here. Usually you get some booze. Right? So I'm passionate about golf. I grew up playing, started playing when I was probably 13. Didn't play high school golf, but I got into college. I played, throughout high school and whatnot. I was a big soccer player and thought I wanted to play in college, but quickly realized that I wasn't going to be able to play at the Division I level, and golf actually, kind of at that time when I was getting into college, became more of a passion for me. I really enjoyed playing it competitively. I didn't play in high school because the coach kind of wanted it to be a full-time thing versus soccer. Long story short, club golf gave me a great opportunity to kind of compete, in college rather than play versus playing like a Division I or an NAIA school. So right now I'm a sales engineer for Timken. So if you guys need bearings or power transmission products, maintenance or anything like that, if you guys design machines, happy to help. Like it says up there, enjoy recreational sports and enjoy playing soccer as well as basketball on the side. So before I kind of get started here, not that I didn't already start, but who has heard of the NCCGA or club golf? I was told 10% would raise their hand, but nobody raised their hand, so nobody knows about club golf. That's good. So I want this to be a little more interactive. So if you guys have questions, feel free to raise your hand. I'll do my best to call you out, and if I don't see you, just yell at me. I can tend to ramble. So who's Next Gen Golf first, right? So really what Next Gen is targeting golfers from kind of like the call it beginning teenage years all the way through 38, 39 years old. So they start with, kind of high schoolers and basically put out a ranking for high school golfers across the nation. It gives college golfers another place to look for rankings, and then kind of into the college level, it's really just club golf. So basically universities can either through their recreation department have a club golf team, or it could be completely separate. And you don't even have to be a university to have a club golf team. Like Chris was mentioning earlier, there's some golf-specific schools that you can study to become a golf professional, and those schools will actually have club golf programs that compete in the NCCGA as well. And then the last part is the PGA Tour. So or the players after college, right? So a lot of players, very few players will go on to play on the PGA Tour, right? But a lot of us still want to compete competitively after college. So you join a country club, something of the sorts, but not everybody's going to have the means to join a country club and compete in club championships and whatnot. So Next Gen offers kind of what's called the City Tour, and that's basically a outlet to compete against people locally and then eventually at the national level. It really, what this says is, there's 217,000 competitive high school golfers, right? 20,000 are going to go on to play competitive college golf, right? So less than 10%. So if there's 30 golfers in here, maybe 3 will make it to play competitive. I hope more, right? I hope more of you guys get out. We've got a highly concentrated group of great golfers, but the stats say, right, only 10% are going to go on to play. So Next Gen basically gives that golfer that might not be a competitive golfer in college with Division I, Division II, Division III, or NAIA, gives them an outlet to compete still. So, just mentioned what the golfing options are. You guys know them. You've got NCAA varsity golf, so Division I, Division II, Division III, non-NCAA, NAIA, and then you've got the NCCGA, so the National Collegiate Club Golf Association. Things you want to think about when you're looking at a college, right? There's a lot of things that go into it. I know when I was looking at schools, it's a tough thing to, it's a tough decision to make, right? There's a lot of different things that you want to think about: academics, the financials. What do you want to do with golf in the future? School size, things like that. So it's a very tough decision. And club golf can kind of be something that gives folks a reason to maybe think about playing competitive golf still, but maybe not at the at the Division I, Division II, Division III level. So the structure is any college can have a club golf team. They contact the NCCGA via the website or give them a call and you can get set up. Well, I mentioned earlier campus recreation. Campus recreation usually is the host of the club teams. Most colleges will have club sports. Sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not related to it, but minute details. Basically, the NCCGA covers the entire U.S. There's 29 regions, and there's, I want to say, 380 universities that compete. So it's a pretty big organization. To give you an idea, when I played club golf in 2012 at Dayton, there were probably 100 teams competing. So it's grown significantly. It's nearly quadrupled since the time I graduated. The way the format works is not dissimilar from high school from right here. Basically, 8 players will compete in a tournament, and 5 of those 8 scores count. So the top 5 scores are what actually goes towards your team's score. Who's involved? Basically, anybody who wants to play. So you can try out for your team. It's co-ed, and club teams basically can be as small as 5 individuals all the way to 100 plus kids. So teams like Ohio State, I think, actually has 120 kids on their club golf team, right? So they may put in 3 or 4 teams into a tournament just to satisfy getting enough kids playing. So the format is there's 2 national championships per year. I heard Cole say they kind of did 5 tournaments in the fall, 5 tournaments in the spring. Pretty similar setup, other than there's 2 national championships. So you play in 2 regional events to qualify for nationals, and it's all based on team scoring. And at the end of that, basically you qualify for the national championship either as a team, so you would send 8 players, or as an individual where you could just go representing yourself to try to compete and actually win the entire championship individually. Played at top level tournament sites. So when I was there, I played at Pinehurst. I didn't get to play at Sea Island, which I was a little bummed out about, but they have some really great venues that they get to play at. And really what it does is club golf gives the golfer that's not the top competitive golfer kind of an outlet to still be competitive in golf, have an academic career as well, and enjoy college. You still get that benefit of kind of feeling like you're a part of a team. It's a great way to create friendships, and there's all swings welcome at Bobby, right? So, club, we've got guys that are shooting mid-60s, right? Potentially former NCAA golfers that maybe didn't want to play or couldn't keep up with academics and decided, hey, maybe I need to focus a little bit more on academics. And club golf gives them a way to not have as stringent of a practice schedule and still be able to compete and play golf. So 64 to 104 is kind of the range of where club golfers will shoot. These are some stats for 2015 to 17, and you guys can kind of read there the top ranked individual, so I think this is per team, would actually shoot, somewhere between 68 to 73. So you've got some pretty competitive golfers out there that compete in the NCCGA. Average medalist score, which would be the top individual from a tournament, regional or national, anywhere from 72.5 to 75. And then, the average counting score would be, 82 to 84. So there's a drop off there for sure. But interestingly enough, kind of the top 10% of golfers in the NCCGA, that score over the time that since I've graduated has gotten better every year. So becoming a more competitive scene. And then the team scores, averaging in the 70s. There's about half of the schools that will average, 70s as a team. So again, those top 5 out of 8 scores. 44 medalists were under par for 2017 of last year, which is pretty impressive. So that's some good scores. Lowest score, Ben Harlan. I don't know if that name rings a bell with anybody, but he was 10 under. The 2017 National Championship, and 728 scores. Okay, so yeah, it's 74.8 per player. That's basically the number of holes, I'm assuming. Yeah, school, right? Yeah.